Peace. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about how seeing outside of the matrix is not enough. Eventually, you're going to have to step outside of the matrix. You're going to have to be outside of it. You can't just stand at the door and just look out, saying you can define the matrix, you understand what it is, and you say you're not in it because you can see outside of it. But clearly you're standing there at the doorway and you're standing in the matrix, but you're just looking out because you see King Nobleism. You see KNBS, King Noble Black Supremacy, but you're still standing at that door that I talked about earlier, but you won't walk through it. And if you're honest with yourself, you see you won't walk through it because you're afraid of the struggles, the trials and the tribulations that you're going to go through once you step outside of it. Once you did not denounce the mark of the beast within your consciousness, once you denounce and renounce that world, you fear the lack of validation, the repercussions, the condemnation, being ostracized by their society, being condemned and looked down upon. You fear what you're going to have to go through mentally, spiritually, physically, economically. On every level, you fear the consequences of stepping out. You really do. You don't want to go through all that. So you think seeing outside of it is enough. Some would even go as far as to say, I'm a spook that's set by the door because they're in the matrix. They say, I'm just a spook that's set by the door. But what you don't realize is that the spook that's set by the door was once completely out, eventually became completely out and anti the matrix, anti the system, anti-Babylon, completely out. They just stepped all the way out at some point. You can't be a spook who's sat by the door forever, fooling yourself, lying to yourself because you fear the struggle. You fear it. But you don't know that freedom is defined in the wisdom that is gained in the struggle. Freedom is acquired knowledge and information that's wrought through the struggle. You earn freedom through wisdom. Wisdom is gained through experience, going through it, living through it. But you don't want to go through it. You don't want to step through that door. Be honest with yourself. You would love for there to be a way for you to do it where you don't have to go through anything. Just smooth sailing. You want to find the quick and easy way to get out. There is no quick and easy way. That's an illusion. There's only the present, there's only now, there's only doing it, there's only stepping into it. Some of you all saying, I got some things to solve in the matrix, before I leave. I got some loose ends I need to tie up. I got to do this or that before I leave the matrix. You still believe in it. You believe that the only resolution, the only resolve, only solution to the things that you perceive to be problems, that the answer lies within the sequence, within the matrix. That there's steps and there are things that you must do within the matrix to bring closure to what you consider to be problems. You totally believe in the matrix. You don't think that these so-called problems can be solved in an unorthodox, radical way beyond your perception, beyond a limited perception that you have right now. You don't believe that your problems could be solved in ways that are beyond your ability to calculate, where it will appear almost magical or miraculous to you, because you believe in the order of the matrix, which is a lie, which dictates to your mind the only way that things can happen, that your mind, your brain can wrap itself around the infinite universe in order to conceptualize the one way, the one route of which things can be brought to harmony and balance. You still believe in the matrix. You believe in its order, its structure, its system, its sequence, its chronology. You still believe in it. And that's how you are trapped. Because you think there's closure in the matrix, and the only closure that there is in the matrix is closing that door and closing you into it. Because those seconds or those minutes that you need, those hours and those days and weeks that you need to resolve certain situations and circumstances turn into an infinity, turn into an eternity of you being trapped into an illusionary realm, an illusionary reality based on limitations that do not reflect the infinite nature of the universe. You can't possibly imagine that there is something beyond the order that was dictated to you, something beyond the method, something beyond the system, something beyond the structure, something beyond the codes that they gave you. You're still thinking as a mathematician and not a magician. You're still thinking within the perspective of numbers. When all numbers are lost in infinity, all numbers are lost in infinite possibility. All structure dissolves, all space becomes nothingness. All meaning becomes open. That's when you come out of the matrix. That's when you step out and step into the new reality. You don't have time to solve illusionary problems, to try to find closure in an illusionary realm. You're immediately being asked to entertain infinite possibility now. And that is the first step out of the matrix, is entertaining infinite possibility. No longer having definitive ideas that were fed to you by entities that wanted to keep you in a limited framework of mind so that they could feed off of you, exploit you, capitalize off of you, and have you do their bidding to keep their codes and their system going. You're being challenged now to entertain infinite possibility now and step into and step out of entertaining that infinite possibility. Make that move. Jump, and the rope shall appear. It's King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnoblepblacksupremacy.com. Donate and don't hate. ignoble black supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about how you have let Babylon and the Matrix distract you from the return of your gods. And you've done this over and over again. Thou Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Let thy will be on earth as so is it in heaven. You have allowed the Matrix and Babylon to distract you from the manifestation of your gods and your divine beings to this earth. Because even though divinity is manifesting in flesh, in physical form, it still has to be filtered through the massive perception and the massive consciousness of this particular dimension. It has to be filtered. And many of you are on light code lockdown. So you're only seeing reality through the perception of the enemies, through the perception of the handlers. So they're dictating massive perception. They're engineering the dominant narrative. So now you're looking at your gods only through their consciousness filtration system, which is media, which is their education, their institutions, capitalism. They're filtering your perception. So as your gods show up, you completely miss it. You're only seeing the perceptions or looking at it from the perception that they have allowed you to. You're only seeing it from very mundane and limited perspectives. So you're missing your God every time. Because they have defined and told you what it is, who they are. They're a cult leader. You know, they're just a cult leader. They're a narcissist. It's just mind control. They put emphasis on what you perceive to be human flaws that no one that manifests within this fourth dimensional framework can escape. But you let that be the totality of how you perceive these divine entities. Not realizing that this whole plane of illusion, this Maya, is rigged. It's based on duality. It is the manifestation of a contradiction. And once you go beyond the contradictions, now you have transcended the illusion. Now you're starting to wake up. When you're no longer caught up in the conundrum of contradiction, and you can see the divine reality in and through it all. And now you, at that point, you're seeing the manifestation of these divine beings and entities that continue to come. They continue to incarnate in your dimension, coming to wake you up, coming to give you a taste of the infinite and ultimate reality. But you can't see outside of your prison. You can't see outside of your matrix, outside of Babylon, outside of the codes. You can't see outside of the script and the movie that they have placed before you to have nothing but negative perceptions, negative context. Your gods have already shown up multiple times. You're still asleep. Your Messiah has returned in several different ways simultaneously. You are still asleep. Because you cannot see beyond the reality that they have dictated for you of how to perceive your experiences, what your experiences mean, what the ultimate conclusion is, you're still going to lower life form entities, lower life form beings, disagreeable beings, vampires, exploiters of your energy field, going to them looking for understanding and guidance, salvation, trying to make things make sense according to them, letting them define your world. So you're missing the return of your gods. And they have you looking for the return of a fake Messiah. They have you looking for the return of a white God, a milquetoast, punctified, sissified, homogenized, faggot Messiah. They have you looking for that, waiting on that to come back, waiting on that to return. And you're missing the return of the ancient ones that are right in front of your face that just keep showing up. It's obvious, it's evident, but you are distracted. Because you can only see reality through their filtration system, which is victim consciousness, which is the demonization, the condemnation, and the niggerization of your deities. They make you throw away your gods. They are just expendable. You keep missing it. This is your opportunity. Because this plane, this consciousness, won't wake up, won't elevate until you get it finally. And say, you know what? I'm no longer going with the massive misconception anymore. I didn't come here to sleep. I came here to wake up. And then that's when the energy and the frequency will start to elevate for you. But you have to stop buying in to their false conceptual framework. They're framing your gods and your deities, your enlighteners, as something negative, and you just falling for it. You're just falling for it every single time. You must step outside of their frame and be able to see the infinite reality of what is before you. Your God has returned and is here and is on earth. But you have to wake up and you have to see beyond the veil. You have to see beyond the illusion. You have to see beyond the false reality that's dictated to you. They make the limitations of how perception expands on this planet. They make that the ultimate reality as to how you cannot perceive the divinity of the return of your gods. They say that your God is defined by the limitations that are here. When it's your job to go beyond those limitations, don't get caught up by those distractions. Don't only see the negative, i.e. negate, to negate the gods. And now you woke up. You're not seeing a nightmare no more once you wake up. The enemy is giving you a nightmare. Every time you look at your gods, he has a nightmare for you. Something that is scary, that is fearful, that is spooky. Something that is creepy, something that is weird, something that is pushing you away from your very gods and making you embrace Babylon and its false reality as being the dominant reality for you, as being your dominant focus. I had to go in on it. This is part one. Join my website, www.kingnoblepblacksupremacy.com. Donate and don't hate. NobleBlackSupremacy.com. And with this particular video, we talk about how many of you ask for God to come into your life. You ask God to do something to let you know that He is real. Send you a symbol, send you a message, something. Show Himself. Some of you all go to the universe and you look for answers. Something to reveal the divine intelligence to you, to let you know that it's all unified, that it's all in divine order, that it's all has deep meaning to it. You search the universe for questions. You soul search. You go within yourself. You practice meditation, divine contemplation. Some of you even turn to the hallucinogens, the marijuana, the mushrooms, different chemicals, because you want an answer. You want a source to reveal itself to you. You ask God, show yourself to me. Make it all make sense. Make it all add up. But then when God appears, the true and living God, can be as King Noble Black Supremacy. When it shows up in a way that's different from what you have been taught, that's different from what your oppressors has put in front of your face. They taught you that God was white, Jesus is white, a mystery, a spook. When it shows up a way that's different from what your slave master fed your grandparents, when it shows up different from what has been accepted by the consensus reality of the masses of asses, you can't embrace it. You start adding other narratives and you begin to trivialize. You find it difficult to dedicate yourself sincerely and devote yourself sincerely when the answer that you asked for showed up for you. When the God that you asked to manifest in your life showed up for you, you begin to get distracted. You begin to play it down. You try to dumb down that God. You try to normalize that entity and that being and make them fit into the matrix constructs and frames, because you find it hard to stomach and digest that the divine intelligence of the universe would manifest in your life as an awakened Black man with the knowledge of all existence, of all the universe, of all time immemorial. You find it difficult to really embrace that. So now you have to take that divine entity and try to limit it. You try to smother out the divine flames, put the fire out. You got to make it nothing because you cannot stomach it when it really is your only answer. It's what showed up for you. It's what you attracted. It's what manifested. It's a part of your soul story. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need accreditation. It doesn't need acceptance from others. It showed up for you in your life. So you have to simultaneously see the value of your life and yourself and your unique and personal experience in order to embrace the divine deity that shows up in your life. But if you want to be with the in crowd, if you want to be accepted by the masses of asses, if you want to be politically correct, if you want to be consistent with the norms, if you want to keep up with the Joneses, then you're not going to be able to embrace the divinity that manifests in your life, that puts it all in perspective for you. You asked for God to show up. You needed something. You was lost. You prayed. Show up and put this in perspective. Deliver me. Save me from the afflictions. Remove this confusion from my mind and from my heart. Take this scattered reality and unify it into something that is divine, that is harmonious, that is meiotic. I know this all ain't for nothing. There is a greater purpose. Show up for me. And it shows up as can be as Kingdom of Black Supremacy in your life. Now it's time to truly dedicate yourself. Devote yourself. Fuck everybody else. Fuck everything else. Accept the message as it is manifested. Accept the embodiment that is your answer. And let that portal open up for you. Let that realm open up for you. Let that shift your paradigm. That's what you have to do. And it's very, very personal. It's very personal. It's though if you went into the desert and you asked for water because you was thirsty, because you've been traveling through the desert. You're dehydrated, you're hot, and your water shows up as a spring. And you saying, I'm not going to drink it because it's not in a cup. I'm not going to drink it because it's not in a faucet. I'm not going to drink it because it's not being filtered. I'm not going to drink it because it's not coming from the corporations and the stores. It's not a municipal source. You're not going to drink the water that showed up for you. KNBS is the water that has showed up for many of you all in a state of spiritual thirst, in a state of blissful dehydration. It has showed up for you. Drink now. Drink thereof. Let nothing distract you. Let nobody distract you. There is no comparison to what shows up for you. Walk your path. Accept your way. It is the ultimate reality. That's going to be difficult, I know. Because it's all about validation now. It's all about being accepted for what you do, not being awakened by what you do. It's about who accepts you for what you do, for the choices and decisions that you make. It's not about what resonates with you, what's in alignment with your frequency. It's not about that anymore. But I'm trying to make you aware of that, awaken you to the significance of that. You asked for God to show up, and it showed up. You asked for answers. You asked for clarity. It showed up for you. Embrace it, dedicate, devote. This Kingdom of Black Supremacy